All right, boys and girls. So today we're gonna do something a little fun. I was out shooting at Red Rock a few weeks ago, and I was having some fun and took some pretty cool images up there. And yeah. So, anyways, the issue today that we're gonna work on is I have this guy over here, so let me apply these settings real quick. Let me paste this. I'm gonna copy and paste. What I basically just did was copy the settings from the last picture, so I'm happy with pretty much the way this looks. So I'm gonna just kind of show you guys how I would touch up the image and how we remove this guy over here and his model. So he's got the little on-camera setup going, and he actually saw us at the visitor center, and overheard me talking to somebody about locations to do photo shoots. So he clearly saw that I was a photographer. So I guess he figured he would just follow us, and then sure enough, he ended up watching where I set up, and then decided he was going to set up in my shot. So don't know if he really thought he was in my shot or not, but clearly he's in my shot. So anyways, so we're gonna remove him, and I'm gonna also touch up the family here a little bit and remove some blemishes throughout the picture. But the main focus of this video is gonna be how do you remove them and make it look as natural as possible. So there's several ways you could do that, and as you can see right now, I'm in Lightroom. You can do this from Lightroom or you can do this from Photoshop. So I'll show you both, but first we're gonna start in Lightroom. Now there's different ways you can do it, and some of the ways that you do it will be easier or worse, or or whatever, however you want to say it. So yeah, so if you're in Lightroom, first you want to use the spot removal tool. And you have two options here. You can do clone or you can do heal. I usually tend to go with heal. I don't know, I just like the way it blends better. Clone is an exact clone of the area, but I'll show you how to do both just in case you might decide clone works better for you. The size of my brush, you can always change that. Feathering, I don't really care to feather too much. Occupancy, I want it to be at 100%. So let's start here. So when I was doing the photo shoot, there was a dog that was at the photo shoot. It was their dog, and they wanted it in the picture. And he rubbed up against me when I went in to pet him against the camera, and I think we got like a hair. I didn't really notice it when I was shooting for some reason. And when I was flipping through the images, I started noticing that little spot up there. So that's why it's always important to make sure your lens and gear is completely clean, and obviously it just saves you time on post. As far as the daughter's concerned, she has a couple blemishes we might take care of. I'm gonna actually just save those for Photoshop, only because I don't really care to do it in Lightroom. But let's focus on this guy down here. So again, let's go over to the clone tool, or not the clone tool, but the brush heal. I'm gonna start with her, and we're just gonna make her one big blob. And what's gonna happen is Lightroom is going to basically fill in the area with what it thinks makes sense. So once you press it, it will do its best job of what it feels will look the best. But I don't like the way that looks. That doesn't look natural. It's got some highlight issues down here. We've got blending well up here, but it makes this area look, I think it's trying to make it look like a rock. So let's find our area, zoom out a little bit, and I'm gonna select this area. So I think this area over here makes the most sense. Yeah, about right there. And then let's go back in, and let's go a little closer. 2 to 1. Let's get back over there. And there you have it. So that's fine. That looks pretty decent. Let's just accept that. Now if we zoom out, you can see she's clearly gone, and it's nothing that if I didn't show you what I did, you would ever even notice. So again, Lightroom for the most part will do the job. Now let's go ahead and select him, and let's see what he can do. Let's get him all lit up. There we go. And now, again, Lightroom's going to pick the best area, and they did a pretty good job of that on this one. So I'm fine with that. We're gonna make that. Boom. So now it's gone. So as you can see, the areas where the guy and the girl are gone. Just makes the overall quality of the picture look better versus having a guy, you know, taking pictures in your picture. So it just makes for a cleaner look. And I saw him there when I was shooting, and again, I was just like, all right, great, whatever. Just more work for me to do in Photoshop, but that's how you do that in Lightroom. So let's go back. I want to show you guys something real quick. Again, I'm gonna just reset that. I'm gonna paste the settings from the previous image, get the colors and the tones the way I want it, and then I'm gonna go in again. But this time in Lightroom, we're gonna use the clone tool. Now this clone tool is, to me, it doesn't give the best look that I want. I want more of a blending look. Clone is going to give you more of an identical look to whatever it decides to select. So we'll let go of that, and it should pick right next to him. Nope, it picked over a little bit. So again, so clone is, what clone is doing is it's saying, okay, I want an exact clone of this area. And as you can see, you see the outline. You can clearly tell something doesn't look normal with this picture. What you can do is turn the feathering up a little bit to make the edges softer, and for some reason his hat is still showing. Probably because I turned the feather. I'm sure it's, I know it's because I turned the feather up, but whatever, you get the point. So that's pretty much what clone does. Clone just basically clones the area next to it, and then, or wherever you want. So if it was this rocky area, I could just click the clone tool here, and then it's going to select this area to clone over here. So we'll accept this, and then we'll go back to the clone tool, and we'll do her. And again, I'm just, for time's sake, I'm just trying to make this quick, just so you guys kind of understand the power of Lightroom and what you guys can do with it. I don't want that because I screwed up. See, and then what you'll notice is, like, you can actually, you'll end up going in, and I might reclone this area here for her because it's pretty similar across the board. It's going in the same direction. The plants are going in the same direction. I can get the same feel that I want. But because I didn't finish him, it looks stupid now. So I should probably go in and clean him up first. But for time's sake, we're just gonna choose the best area we can. Let's see, that's close enough. And again, they're gone, whatever. Even if I was just lazy and I left this crap here, again, once you zoom out, you don't know what's going on. You clearly tell, you can't tell there's a guy there unless I zoom in and show you that. So let's reset this one last time, and we're gonna paste the settings. And then what I usually end up doing when I need to do something with removal, even if it's this up here and touch-ups, especially on the face and the legs, after I do my tones and everything in Lightroom, I'll take it and I'll edit it in Photoshop. So we'll open up Photoshop, give it a sec. And then what we're gonna do in Photoshop is we're gonna try to use the tools that are native to Photoshop. And there it goes. It was just a little slow. I was wondering. Let me close this window out. And let's expand this one. Oh, it's already expanded. Okay, so now we've got our image. So there's several tools you can use in Photoshop. And I think I just like the way Photoshop blends when it's trying to repair and do things like that. I prefer, there's a lot of different options you can do. I'm proficient in a few and not so much in others. So I just stick to what I'm good at, and we'll go from there. So anyway, so something like this, I could just boom, draw that, click on it. We're gonna fill, and then make sure you have content aware selected. And then I put blending mode as normal. You can always change blending mode. There's not really a need to do that. So we're just gonna do that. And boom, Photoshop did the best it could do and filled in the sky, and the sky looks good. So I'm happy with that. And then if we go down to the guy down here, we're gonna select him and then just give him a little outline. And I'm gonna fill this. And then once we fill it, boom, he's done. He's out of there. If I want to get this little area right here. And you might notice it's a little bit faster than using Lightroom. It processes a little faster to me. I feel a little easier when I do these changes in Photoshop versus Lightroom. So there again, that's done. Now we zoom out and picture's done. People are gone. Now there's another tool you could use. That's the spot healing brush. A lot of times, again, that's another great tool. If you don't want to use the fill, you can use that. But usually a spot healing brush, I'll use it on skin. I like the way that it blends well. So let's go up to our brush. Let's drop the size down to about a little less, 10 pixels is good size. Hardness, I like it around midway. Spacing, 17%. And then let's start clicking. And you can just click on through this until you get all the little spots and blemishes removed that you guys want to get taken out. And just feel free to get in there if you got hair or you got pimples, whatever it is you want to get out, just get it out and then make your picture look better. You'll just kind of touch it up. And you'll notice sometimes when you get in the dark areas, dark and light areas, where it's contrasting, that sometimes it doesn't blend well. You kind of just have to keep playing with it. I'll probably just brush that in and make it lighter down here instead of trying to do the spot here. And as you can see, just a few things to kind of make the overall image look better and to make the feel and the colors and the skin look cleaner for your client. And mom is so far pretty good. She has a lot of hair. I'm not gonna really fuss around with that. I'm fine, it's mom. Okay, let's get to the bride. There, there, there. Get the arm. And that's pretty good. Just for now, like again, just for time's sake, we're just gonna kind of brush, kind of just rush through this real quick just to kind of show you guys. And we're gonna clean pops up just to smudge it. And if you wanted to get, like, say, the wrinkles out of the eyes, I mean, you could get in there and just kind of boom, like that. And that's gonna make him look a few years younger. Whenever you have a client who might be a little older and they say, you know, I'll usually ask, you know, if I don't ask or if they mention it, then I'll go in and do it. But yeah, so you can see it just makes him look a little bit younger just by doing that. Now what happens if you try to do this in one big swatch, you're gonna see like some pasty kind of look. Sometimes it works, but yeah, it's just like a pasty. I don't really care for that, so it's usually better to do it in smaller brush strokes. If you have a tablet or, you know, with a pen or whatever, it's usually easier. I think that was it. Yeah, that's usually easier to do it with like a pen or something. And yeah, so that's how you guys do it. So basically, what we just did is we went in, we removed people over here. We took out a couple issues we had with the overall picture, just a couple touched up, a couple blemishes on their client, and now the overall picture looks pretty good. If I was really going into detail, I could go and hit up the legs and maybe soften that up, and I'll probably do that with a brush back in Lightroom. But once you're finished in here, what you want to do is just click save, and that's going to automatically update back in Lightroom. So now that we edited that one, we're good. Let's go back here to Lightroom, and boom, our picture is back, and now it's fully edited as far as the touch-ups that we just made and all the changes that will reflect back into Lightroom. You'll notice your picture starts off as a TIFF, and all your settings are going to reset it. So just be pretty confident before you send it to Photoshop that you've made all your changes to the colors and tones, if you tend to do that in Lightroom. Some people tend to do it in Photoshop. I'm not that great at doing it in Photoshop. I kind of just like the workflow that I have where I do it in Lightroom and then transition to Photoshop and then back to Lightroom to make any further adjustments. So to finish this image off, what I would do is I would grab my brush. Right now it's on the skin softener. And yep, so we got the sharpness down, we got the clarity down, and again, let's just zoom in. Let me just zoom in first. And composition. I'm just gonna get my picture composed the way I want it, and then we're gonna open up this brush and we're gonna brush on some smooth legs. And you'll still see some of the blemishes, but I don't want them to stand out that much. And if her legs look just a little darker, you can always turn up the exposure just a touch, and that'll help remove some of the blemish too. So now you can see that the legs are lit. And if you don't like that for any reason, I always recommend zooming out and checking what you've done. And as you can see right there, we've got if you want to turn that on, it'll show you where you painted and whatnot. But let's turn, I actually don't like the overlay on. And so if you turn the exposure way up, you're gonna make her legs really overexposed. We just want subtle changes. We don't want drastic changes. So let's go tail dog right there. Oops. All right, there. And that's good. We'll just enter that, and that's fine. I mean, like I said, overall, this picture is fine. I'll go in and do more touch-ups later on, but just to kind of give you guys a general understanding of how it works. Now, keep in mind, Photoshop and Lightroom come as a pair in the Creative Cloud suite, so I highly recommend you guys go and download that. And it's $10 a month. I used to do the hacked versions of Photoshop and Lightroom all the time. Those are fine, whatever. But I like to get the updates and have the latest and greatest. And it's only $10 a month now versus having to pay like $1,000 for the Photoshop entire like collection of stuff that half of it you'll never use. So if all you use is photos and photo editing, if that's all you're doing and all you need is Lightroom and Photoshop, I highly recommend you guys go download that ASAP and start some good work, man. So good luck. Let me know if that works for you guys and if it helps out, and let's see some quality images from you guys. It's me, Omir, again, and with Pixel 2 Photography. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on this post. All right, thanks.